So welcome back to the session, and I am as excited as you all are because this is a very fun session, one of my favorite topics to talk about, and that's about vocal songs. So first thing, if you are a beginner player, do not worry. Even if you don't know how to play songs right now, you don't know how to play chords, none of that matters at this moment for this lesson. This is anyways beneficial for you for two main reasons. One is, if you stick with this lesson and if you understand the principles, as you get better in your playing, you'll be able to instantly apply it and you'll be able to avoid the mistakes, more importantly, that most people make when they try to learn songs and especially perform them. Second is, if you're just getting started, this will serve as a great source of inspiration, and I hope by the end of the lesson you will be pumped up to pick up your guitar and start learning right away. So don't worry if you're a beginner. It doesn't matter what level of guitar playing you're at. This lesson is scaled for players of all levels. These principles can be applied on other instruments also, but more particularly with guitar, because I'll be speaking on the lines of that. One thing that you all can do is, I know that when you go back and think about the songs that you want to learn, there must be at least one song that you, even before picked up the guitar, wanted to learn to play on the guitar. So let me know what that song was for you. Any song that inspired you to pick up the guitar, any song that you, even before you were a musician or a guitarist, you wanted to anyhow learn to play on the instrument and sing along with it, whether it was instrumental, vocal, doesn't matter. So put that in the comment section and let me know which is that one song that has inspired you always to pick up the instrument. I remember when initially I used to, feel like playing songs in front of people, and when I was asked to do that, especially gigs where you have friends and family, or some impromptu gigs, you have gone somewhere and somebody has a guitar over there and they know that you can play, so they want to listen to what you play. So whenever these situations happen, I have always found that there are different reactions that you get from audiences. So I know how it actually feels when you're over there, because you as a musician, you want to make sure that you are performing at your best and you're giving your everything when you're playing songs. You are completely immersed into the music, you're feeling that and you're enjoying it, and you want your listeners also to have the same kind of enjoyment and same kind of response that you expect. Now, when I go back to these things, I remember that it was not always how you expected. Not everybody reacts and responds in the same manner to your music. And I used to always wonder, why is it happening? What is it that some people can relate with that and some people are completely disconnected? Especially if you're playing at occasions where people are drinking and having a good time, sitting around with friends. They might ask you to play things, they might ask you to do your performance, but they may not be as engaged as you would want them to. They would be more interested in having their drinks, and probably a couple of drinks down, they might join you and start requesting for songs and start singing songs. So initially I used to get very frustrated. I'll be very honest with you. Whenever somebody used to ask me to play, and then if they were not interested in my music, I used to get extremely frustrated, and I used to tell to myself, I will not do this again. I will not play for anybody who is not interested in my music. But then later on, I realized that it's me who is losing if I don't do that. Because one, I'm losing out on an opportunity to perform and test my skills. Two, I'm missing out on an opportunity to learn, because then I started taking all these sessions as a learning opportunity. I never took it as somebody trying to have fun with my music. I always used to take it like a learning opportunity for me to connect with my music more and understand where I am making mistakes, understand how I can make things better. So I used to always analyze things in my own head, and while everybody was enjoying the music. Third thing is, it doesn't really matter. See, you are always going to have two kinds of audiences. One who will be immersed in your music, who will be audiences who are keen listeners without Your music also, generally, even when they're listening to music, they'll be very keen on understanding what's happening. So I would put them in the category of informed listeners. And then there are listeners who are just casual listeners, who will be there and they will only connect when there is something that strikes a chord with them. So you need to expect all different kinds of audiences in your performance, and eventually you have to tell yourself that you're there to entertain people. You're not there to gain self-importance. Okay, although you are the one who is performing, but you're not there for them to praise and give you all kinds of compliments. You're there to entertain people, and they're there to have fun. Why does this happen? This is a question that I used to ask myself all the time. Why is it happening that some people are connecting, some people are not connecting? And then I realized what the issue was, which I'm going to share with you. So imagine in your mind that you like to go and eat out, and you are planning to do that over the weekend. And then there is this new restaurant in town who is serving your favorite cuisine, and you're extremely excited, can't wait to try that. So you get ready, you get all your things, and you pre-plan, you tell your friends, and everybody lands up there on time. And then you find out that there's only one dish on the menu. You might eat that dish on that day, and you might enjoy it also, depending on how it is prepared. But what would happen if the waiter tells you that, can I bring the dish again? Would you like to repeat it? Maybe you might do it if you liked it. But what if he keeps asking you, do you want to repeat the dish? Are you going to do that? Would you ever want to go back to that restaurant again? I highly doubt you would. No matter how much you like that food, you might get bored of it after a while. Now, this is exactly what happens when you're performing songs. If you're not gaining the audience's attention, that means that there is only one dish on your menu, and you're serving it again and again and again to the audience. And first few occasions, they like it, and later on they get bored of it, and that's when they stop interacting, engaging, and getting immersed into your music. So you need to stop that from happening, and that's what we are going to discuss today. So today what we'll do is we'll first find out why listeners sometimes don't feel interested in your music when you play songs. They sometimes don't connect with you. And then I will explain to you how to fix this. I will give you simple steps, probably 5 to 6 steps that you can take. Vocal songs are going to stand out next time you perform. In the process, I will also give you some tips on how to make this easier for you. How can you learn the songs easier? How can you perform them with more ease and confidence? What kind of prerequisites you need in order for you to ensure that each and every performance of yours is a good one and keeps getting better and better with every new performance. And eventually I'll show you a short demo of how this is put together, how this can be put into use, so that you can have an understanding of whatever I am saying, how to actually do it. If you don't work on your guitar playing and make it more creative while performing your songs, then you're going to end up like a hero in an ensemble cast. You know, one of those films where you have a lot of actors and you like those movies, and you come back and when you analyze, you see that each and every actor had a good performance, a contribution to make. That's what's happening when you're playing with your guitar. And if you are not a great singer, you don't know much about vocals and how to add variety to your vocals, how to make it more interesting, then you will be founded struggling with the instrument and as well as your vocals, and people will start getting bored. So in order to do that, make your ensemble cast strong. Make sure that this particular thing that's in your hand is not just sitting there and playing the same thing over and over again. Make it sound more creative so that your songs become more engaging. So you need some tools in order to do that. That's what we are going to discuss. So tips and tricks is what I'm going to teach you. Like I had said, see, I'm not a vocalist. Okay, although I've trained vocals, but I am not a vocal singer. I don't generally perform with the guitar and sing vocal songs unless somebody asks me to. That's not what I like doing. I'm more of an instrumental player. I have done this a lot in the past, and I had my fair share of fun when I did that, and which is why I wanted to teach you. how to do this effectively and make it more creative. So I picked this song. It's a pop song. It's from the movie Kabir Singh. It's called Kaise Hua. And even if it is not your favorite genre of music, if it is not your favorite song, do not worry. Just stay with me. These concepts, these principles will apply to any song. Any song, any genre, you can take these principles, you can apply them there. So learn them, understand them, ingrain them, and then start applying it to whatever songs you want to play. Firstly, before we look at the song, let's understand what the song is about. So this song is in the key of D major. I'll just pull up the chart for this song. So first things first, whenever you try to do a song, you first find out what the key signature of the song is, what key is the song in. And this song, according to me, is in the key of D major, or you can call it D minor also, but I particularly feel it's more of D major and less of B minor. And not a very difficult song to play. There are only 4 to 5 chords, I believe. So there is B minor, F sharp minor, G major, A major, D major, and E minor. I think these are the only chords. Now, next thing you need to understand is, the different sections that the song has. So this is extremely important when it comes to learning songs, because this is how you can learn songs faster. Because when it comes to pop songs, you must know that pop songs have a lot of repetition, a lot of repeated sections, and your job as a guitar player becomes easier if you understand this thing, because then you don't have to learn every new section differently. Once you learn one section, you can apply the same musical format to another section and play that. So this song is pretty simple, usual pop genre song form. So you have a verse starting off, and then you have a pre-chorus in this section, and then you have a chorus section, and that's it. And then the same thing keeps repeating for any other verse if you have. You have the next verse, which is slightly different in terms of its melody, but mostly the same chords are being played throughout the song. So that makes it an easy song for us to learn. So these are extremely important things for you to understand. When you want to play a particular song, when you are planning for a vocal performance, and if you have time, now I'm not talking about those impromptu performances, and I highly recommend that you prepare yourself to do that, because I teach all my students to do that. Don't be somebody, that average person who needs 4 hours to learn songs and then 1 month to practice them so that they go ahead and play them. Don't be that guitar player. It's a very poor way of learning. Instead, train yourself in such a way that you will be able to play songs whenever they are put in front of you. So any request that comes to you, if you have the chord chart, you should be able to play it instantly without too much practice. See, let's face it, it's a better way of doing things, because as a musician, things can be unpredictable. Sometimes you will have situations where you're on a gig and somebody requests for a song, and if you have not learned it, if you have not practiced it, you do not want to be in a situation where you're completely dumbfounded. How will I perform it? You need to be able to pull up a simple chord chart and look at it and play it. If you are more advanced, then you should be able to use your ears and go along and try to play the song. First thing is analyze the song's key signature, what key it is in. It is extremely important, because that's where you will know what are the set of chords that you can choose from. Key signature is one thing that you have to learn. Second thing is your chords, whatever chords are contained in the song, and what section which chords are being played, and where exactly do you change chords. You have to do your groundwork, listen to the song and find out where is it going from one chord to the other, so that you can accent those things. Now, accenting in music means you emphasize those places more, so you can add proper accents, and you can decide where to play it strongly, where to play it slightly mellow, and where to make the changes. Third thing is the time signature, very important. Now, time signature is slightly vast concept. We'll not dive deeper into it, but just to give you an overview, you have different types of time signatures. You have 4x4, 3x4, 6/8, 7/8, 5/8, all sorts. Okay. Now, most pop music is generally written in 4x4, 3x4, or 6/8, or 7/8. Now 7/8 is slightly rarer, but 6/8, 3/4 and 4/4 are very common. And this particular song that we are going to look at today is in the time signature of 6/8. So instead of getting a feel like 1, 2, 3, 4, you get a feel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Time signature is important because that will decide how you can vary your rhythms and make it sound more interesting, because otherwise the whole feel of the song will change. So, let's say a 7/8 song, if you try to play it like 4/4, it will have a completely different feel, and you don't want that to happen. That's why you need to be aware of the time signature. Now, if you're somebody who is struggling with playing bar chords, if you're not able to put your fingers around bar chords and switch them properly, then don't worry, use a device called as a capo. For this song also, although it's in the key of D major, you can put the capo on the 2nd fret and you can transpose the song in the key of C major or A minor. Now, capo is not just important for you to drop the key, but if you're somebody who doesn't have a very high vocal range, you need to use a capo. You should be using a capo and dropping the key for the song, so that the guitar doesn't overpower your singing and you can be easily able to sing the song without hurting your voice. Next is breaking down the song. I think we covered this already. Find out what sections are there in the song, how does it flow, and then I want you to decide how will you perform the song. So this is where I want you to take account of the fact that when you're performing, you are the person who is responsible for creating the music. So it's not necessary that you play the song exactly like how it's played on the record. Not required. You can add your own flair to it. You can start somewhere else. You can go somewhere else. You can eliminate sections. You can add things on your own if you're composing and adding to the song. So don't shy away from experimenting. If it is a planned performance, you have all the scope for doing that. In fact, if you keep experimenting, if you keep it more interesting, the listeners will be more engaged and they'll enjoy it even more. So make sure that you do that. Break the song down, learn it in sections, and analyze how each section functions and how you are going to perform it. When you perform, number one tip that I wanted to give you today is you have to think that you are the king at that time, and you literally are, because everybody else over there is sitting there to listen to your music, and you have to feel that way. Only then you will be able to make the audiences feel your music. So you have to play like a king. You have to I'm not saying that stand over there and start giving orders to people. That's not what I mean by saying that you are the king. But you are the person who is going to create that environment, and people over there have paid to see you, or even if it is a free gig, doesn't matter. They are there to see you. So you have to have that feeling in you. So don't stop when you make mistakes while performing. If you miss a chord, who cares? Unless your listeners are highly trained musicians, they are not going to find out anything about where you went wrong. They don't know what chords are. They are only concerned about the music, and your job as a performer at that time is to keep the music going and not stop abruptly. So as long as the music is playing, you are fine. You're doing well. Okay. All right. So we come to the tips now. First tip is that you're going to listen to the song many times. Play the song on loop. You will understand what are the sections where you can go soft with your vocals, what are the sections where you are going to go louder with your vocals with more emphasis, more tension, and how does it help when you do that? The sections where you are softer with your vocals, if those are sections where you need to have a certain level of tension, you can do the opposite with the guitar. You can probably make the guitar slightly louder, and if that's a section which has a sense of resolution, then you can keep the guitar also soft, but then you need to learn some techniques to keep it soft and make it sound interesting and different from what you did. So make sure that you listen to the song a lot of times. Find out the places where there is tension and sense of resolution, and try to replicate that in your performance, and listen to how you can make it better. So some sections which you feel you can add some of your own stuff, do that. and make it more interesting. Make sure that you have a complete understanding of what the song is, because unless you have that, the performance is not going to come across as a very natural one, because you will be lost in between everything. You will be lost between what the chords are and how is the song played. And I have been in this situation many times where I have been at a gig and then people have requested for a song which I've never heard in my life. Because of my experience, I can listen to the song once or twice and then I can pick up and start playing. However, it's not possible for everybody who is just starting out. So in those cases, you might have to do your preparatory work, do your homework, and listen to a lot of music so that you can be ready to play anything that comes your way. So listen to mostly the music that you are mostly interested in performing. So try to be aware of that genre and what songs are coming out, what are the popular songs, what are popular to be played on guitar. So you need to be having an understanding of all these things. So that's my number one tip. Listen to a lot of music and do this analysis in your head. Even if you're not going to perform, this analysis is very beneficial for you as a musician. So understand where there is tension and resolution in the song, so that you can subconsciously apply that to your performance also. Now that you have heard the song, now that you know how it sounds like, where is the point of tension and resolution, the second most important tip when you're performing vocal songs is, how do you feel about the song yourself? How much has the song entered your entire realm of things, and how connected are you with the music? Because if you yourself are not connected, it is highly unlikely that the listener will be connected with your music. So while performing, one advice if I could give you, do not care about anything else that's happening around you at that time. You connect with the music that you're playing. You immerse yourself into what you're playing and keep listening to what you're playing, keep analyzing, keep changing things on the spot, try to be more creative, more innovative. Don't shy away from experimenting. Don't think about mistakes, most importantly. And even if mistakes happen, do not care about them. Do not get bogged down by mistakes. They will always happen. Even professional players make a lot of mistakes in their playing. The important thing is they never let the performance suffer because of that, and you have the responsibility with you to do that. You can do that very easily by just connecting with your music, enjoying what you're already playing. So when you're playing the song, just listen to the song yourself and enjoy it, connect with it more. This will not only help you to play the song better on the instrument, but this will also help your vocals. Because then now you will not be too conscious about singing louder or softer. You will be just singing perfectly like how that section needs. So do that and make sure that you work on the feel of your performance and not just your physical performance. Third and most important tip according to me is you delay the resolution for the listener and keep the song unpredictable. Extremely important tip. I see that most people, when they are playing songs start to end on the guitar, they play the same way and they keep everything coming. So as a listener, I'm expecting certain things to happen, and I hope that those things happen right on time. So my ears are also kind of gravitating towards what's going to come next. Now you have to keep it surprising. Think about surprises. You like surprises? I like surprises. I'm sure everybody likes surprises. That's what you have to give the listener when you play your songs. So do not serve things right into their face. Keep it more unpredictable. Delay the resolutions, especially. So the sections where it is going to come down from tension, delay it a bit, hold it back. Let the listener suffer for a while. Trust me, it helps. Okay, let them hold on to that thought of tension. And then when they don't expect, that's when you bring in the resolution. So delay your resolutions and keep it unpredictable. Tip number 4 is my personal favorite, and please do me a favor and don't play songs start to end with the same kind of rhythm, same kind of rhythmic structure, same kind of feel, because it gets boring very quickly. And this is probably one of the most common mistakes that I've seen beginner to intermediate guitar players make when they try to perform. is that for a song like this, they will start playing and they will start doing the same thing, start to end, they'll play the same song exactly like that. So, and then it's not a performance. Okay, it's like a train wreck. You just started, there is no starting point, there's no ending point. You have completely ruined the whole experience for the listener. It's good for somebody who doesn't know to play the guitar and they watch you and say, oh wow, you can play so well. But for a listener, it gets boring very easily. So don't make that mistake. Vary your rhythm guitar parts, add some expressions, add some dynamics to your playing, vary the speed at which you're playing, vary the emphasis that you make on different notes, accent different places, sometimes step back and make things softer. So work on that stuff. So like I recommend always, if you haven't, then go to my channel Learn Guitar Online India and watch the video on strumming. It's an extremely important topic. Even if you're an intermediate player, it's going to be extremely helpful, because most people tend to ignore that, and that's why their vocal performances suffer, because then you are playing everything start to end the same way, whereas you need to be able to automatically express yourself much better with your rhythm. And that one change, if you make, it will automatically improve your songs no matter what you're playing. So vary the rhythm as much as possible throughout the song. What's the last tip? Yes, very important tip. And this is something that I have been guilty of in the past, like I said, when I just started performing, and that's why I don't want you to make the mistake. You have to become your own audience, and you have to trust your gut feel, you have to trust your instincts. We tend to, while performing, it happens that we tend to think from a listener's perspective, but we don't become the listener ourselves. We always keep thinking in our mind that what is this person thinking? How is that person reacting to the song? Is this person finding it right? Am I playing properly? They are looking at my hand. Is the chord proper? Is it sounding correct? Am I singing properly? Relax. Okay? Everybody is there to have a good time, and like I said, you will most likely be playing in front of people who don't have too much musical knowledge. They are there to listen to your song. So what you do at that time is you become your own audience. You start listening to what you're playing, and while you're playing, instinctively whatever comes to your mind. Let's say you're playing a part where you're finger picking, and then suddenly you feel like that same section could have a short burst of strumming. Then do that. Okay? Do that, adapt, and then go back to whatever you are doing. Let's say you are strumming in a certain way, and then you feel like it's starting to get boring and you yourself are not liking it. You feel like I need some relief, some reset of my ears from the same rhythm that I've been playing. Then change it. Add some rest in between. Very important point. So this is a bonus tip for you. Make creative use of rest. We'll talk about this probably in another live lesson, because it is a topic that is highly ignored by musicians, and you don't even know how important it is and how easily things can be made to sound more professional and more interesting by creative use of rest. So till that time, whatever you already know, your skills that you already have, listen to them when you're playing, become your own audience, and try to change things up instinctively and see how it feels to you when you change things, and then keep analyzing and keep improvising. That's how you can make your performances better. So those were my 5 tips to you. Tip number 1 is listening. Tip number 2 is the feel. Tip number 3 is delaying your resolutions and keeping it unpredictable. Tip number 4 is change the rhythm, vary the rhythm as much as possible in different sections of the song. And tip number 5 is become your own audience and keep improvising instinctively whatever comes to your mind. Now let's go ahead and look at the demo of how this will sound. So I haven't been performing So I'll be doing some commentary over my own playing. Maybe I'll just play it once and then I'll repeat it and I'll comment on different sections, and you can see what's happening for yourself, and probably you can pick some ideas for your own songs. हंसता रहता हूँ तुमसे मिलकर क्यों आजकल, बदले बदले हैं मेरे तेवर क्यों आजकल, आंखें मेरी हर जगह ढूंढे तुझे बेवजह, ये मैं हूँ या कोई और है मेरी तरह। ओ कैसे हुआ, कैसे हुआ तू इतना जरूरी, कैसे हुआ, कैसे हुआ, कैसे हुआ तू इतना जरूरी, कैसे हुआ। मैं बारिश की बोली समझता नहीं था, हवाओं से मैं यूं उलझता नहीं था, है सीने में दिल भी कहाँ थी मुझे ये खबर, कहीं पे हो रातें कहीं पे सवेरे, आवारगी रही साथ मेरे, ठहर जा ये कहती है तेरी नजर, क्या हाल हो गया है ये मेरा, आंखें मेरी हर जगह ढूंढे तुझे बेवजह, ये मैं हूँ या कोई और है मेरी तरह। ओ कैसे हुआ, कैसे हुआ तू इतना जरूरी, कैसे हुआ, कैसे हुआ, कैसे हुआ तू इतना जरूरी, कैसे हुआ, कैसे हुआ, कैसे हुआ तू इतना जरूरी, कैसे हुआ। Start applying these things when you do your vocal songs, whether you're performing them, whether you're learning for performances. Now, how will this happen? This will come with practice. First thing for you is to ensure that you learn the guitar part well. That is the topmost thing when in your preparatory work also, because unless you know how the guitar part sounds, you will not be able to add things on top of it and make it more creative. For that, you have to train yourself to play the guitar well. If you're struggling with your guitar playing, if you want to learn how to make your own vocal songs stand out and how to make them more creative, if you're interested in learning concepts of songwriting and how to get better on guitar quickly, how to learn songs faster, how to perform them with ease, how to make your song stand out, then book a trial lesson with me. Go to www.learnguitaronline.in and we'll talk over the trial lesson and I'll help you out with that. If you're looking forward to improving your guitar playing quickly and get to higher levels of playing much faster, then come over, join me in my customized guitar lessons. If you like what I'm doing through these live sessions, you're going to love what I do with the customized lessons for you. So come join me, and it will be great fun to teach you and help you get better at the instrument as well as become the vocal performer that you always wanted to be. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope you learned a lot and take these things away. Go back, watch it again, note down some of these things, start working on these things one by one. Let me take just two more minutes to tell you how to practice this stuff. So first, make a note of everything that I told you. Go through the demo again and see what all things I was applying there. Make a note of these things also. Train yourself in doing these things in isolation first. And once you get better at them, start implementing them one by one in one of your songs. So go through a series of 15 to 20 songs with applying each of these techniques, and then by that time you will already have trained your subconscious mind to do these things without actually thinking. And that's where you want to reach if you want to make your vocal songs stand out, if you want to become a good performer, acoustic performer. So it will not come easy. You will have to put in some work to do that. But if you have the desire to do it, you will be able to do it very easily. And if you need help with any of this stuff, you can reach out to me through the comment section here. You can also go to the other YouTube channel, that is Learn Guitar Online India, and you can see the lessons over there and all the cool stuff that I keep putting. Chat with me, reach out to me on Facebook, and I'm there on Instagram also. So I'll put all those handles in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed that. Do remember to tell me what was that one song which inspired you to pick up the instrument and why. I'll be waiting to see your responses. So I had great fun doing this lesson. This is Dhanesh again, and I'll see you in the next session.